As you may know, I was born in Russia and I speak Russian fluently, but I've never really spoken Russian on this channel. And it's because, well, how about this? I'll tell you in Russian.
Я говорю по-русски, но я стесняюсь, потому что у меня очень высокий голос.
I got you guys. Joining us today is Sasha Spielberg, who spends her time between LA and Moscow, and she's an absolute rock star, but she came with some medical questions that she wants to stump me with.
And I'm so excited to ask you these questions and be here.
Be honest, are they hard? Should I be worried?
No, they're simple,
You
but I feel like
promise?
they'll be interesting.
Well, I'm hoping you guys learn something, and maybe if she stumps me, you won't see it. Let's do it. I'm ready to answer some questions.
Yay. I've been told many times by doctors that I have very weird feet placement, that like I should be standing like this, but my feet are like this,
Okay,
right?
outwards.
And so that I have to do massages, Pilates, and like all of this stuff to make my body more perfect. Do you have to do it? Like, am I gonna get more problems if I don't do the massages and just live the way I was built originally?
The fact that a doctor told you that you need to get your body perfect is
Yeah.
already a strange comment coming from a doctor.
Okay.
We're uneven. Humans are uneven. First of all, we developed in the womb, in our mama's bellies,
Yeah.
a little bit off. Plus, when we go into the environment, we carry book bags on one side, we sit on desks where we lean on the other side, but that's okay. Our bodies adapt. If you're very uneven and unproportional, you can have a serious imbalance. If that's happening as a result of a muscle that's undertrained, that can be something that's easily correctable with physical therapy, acupuncture, all these integrative therapies. And that's why it takes an honest doctor to take a look at your body as a whole and your lifestyle as a whole and give you the best advice possible. You mentioned your feet don't have proper alignment.
Yeah.
I'm not a podiatrist, I'm a family medicine doctor, but I know that many of my patients who do what we call overpronate or oversupinate, that's the type of angle that you have in your feet, there's ways to fix that with proper fitting footwear and orthotics. So this is a new shoe, so you don't really see my wear pattern, but when I look at someone's shoe and they're complaining of, let's say, knee pain or ankle pain, and I see that it wears more on this side, like it starts riding up, that means the person's overpronating and they're putting a lot of pressure on this side of their shoe.
Okay. Wait a second.
So yeah, let's look at your shoe. I want to see it. We'll do like a
wait
real
a second.
doctor encounter.
I got it.
Oh yeah, so look, actually, you'll see it yourself. You see how this side is a little bit more worn than this side?
I've never noticed.
Yeah, so I don't know, Dan, can you see that?
What?
It's mild. It's very yours would be very mild. There's special shoes that are for overpronators, where this part of the shoe is firm and this part of the shoe is more cushioned. So actually they get more support on the inside so that their foot sort of evens out when they take their steps. And that not only can affect your foot, causing foot pain, it can affect the joint above, which is ankle pain, as well as knee pain.
You explain everything in such a simple manner. That's fascinating.
Thank you.
That's fascinating. Do you believe in like shamans and the stuff that they do to your body? Because I've had
Like
an
the
experience
crystal
like that.
healers. And
I wouldn't say
Reiki.
crystal healers. I've had an experience where in 15 minutes, this woman was massaging my foot and she changed the placement in 15 minutes. I walked differently. Like it wore away with a couple days.
When
but
you say placement, what do you mean?
placement as in I stood up and I was walking differently. So I was walking the normal way and I could feel my muscles that like I don't usually feel on my пятка.
And she's on your heel.
Yes.
She is a shaman?
Yes.
Not like an acupressure.
She is, but like
She's
I'm not
gifted
wishing,
in the...
yes, she's like connected.
In order to be a good doctor, you need to be a balance. You need to be a skeptic, but you need to be a healthy skeptic. When I say healthy skeptic, it means that I can't not believe anything because you're telling me something happened. But it also has to mean that I can't just recommend this to everybody because it worked for you.
Yeah.
We call that anecdotal evidence, where you have an anecdote and it worked for you, and I'm happy that it worked for you. But whether or not it works for everybody,
Okay, I got you.
I'm doubtful. Massage therapy, acupuncture, all of these integrative therapies, they work for people where it's not clear through what mechanism. We don't even know really why acupressure or acupuncture works. But in some people it does. So when you go to a shaman or an acupuncturist or anybody like that that's like integrative or very homeopathic, and you get a good result, it doesn't mean that the reason you had the good result is because of whatever it was.
It's because I'm convinced it works?
Yes. Now, do you think that's a bad thing or a good thing?
I think that's a good thing.
It is a good thing. We always say placebo effect is bad. It actually shows the power of our minds, that we can actually self-heal. We can get better outcomes by thinking positively, by believing in the efficacy of certain treatment. So if we know that, we should be putting a lot more emphasis on our mental health. And that's what we do on the channel to try and get people excited about that.
Yeah, I don't think that we talk so much about mental health where I'm from, so back in Russia.
Of course.
Which is a little bit sad, but we're getting there.
Why do you think that is?
In my opinion, a Russian's perspective on any problem or any mental health problem would be like, deal with it and go forward, you know?
Sure.
Like, don't look back. And that's how a lot of us live and how we approach life, which might not be the very best way to go.
Do you think that approach sometimes is best? Sometimes.
A lot of the times, because it gets the job done, but you know, it's like having something really heavy on your shoulders that you pull through with, but then at the end, you're not really getting rid of, you know, what's on your shoulders, even though you're moving forward.
So correct me if I'm wrong. What you're saying is short term, it's a great solution a lot of times.
Exactly.
Long term, may not be ideal.
Thank you.
Okay.
You take my English to the next level.
No, it's a good thought that you're having. You're actually having really advanced thought. It's a good thing. If you are very skinny your whole life, you're more likely to develop osteoporosis, which is a condition where you have weak bones later in life. So that's why what I recommend for my patients that are 60, 70 years old, a lot of them think they should just walk or run or something, aerobic exercise. But I tell them they have to do weights. Why? Because putting stress on your bones actually makes them stronger and prevents disease. When you exercise, you're actually putting a stress on your muscles, which encourages them to grow.
Interesting.
When you face a challenge in life, that's another way that you're making your mind and self stronger. But now long term, if you never address chronic stress, it becomes a bigger problem. And I think that's what in Russia we make a mistake of doing.
Interesting.
I'm glad we see eye to eye.
Очень интересно, что еще по твоему опыту, как бы, семья из России and all that. Yes.
Yeah,
It's
of
so
course.
cool to connect with someone Russian
Yeah,
in
I
this
know.
town.
You're the first Russian person on my channel.
You're the first Russian person I've ever shot with in LA. That's so cool.
Representing the Russian community on YouTube. What?
Yeah. I wanted to ask you about the diet here in the US. I've been here for half a year. Eating, I would say, pretty healthy. I don't eat a lot of snacks, fast food, none of that. But I gained weight for the first time in my life that doesn't go away. Even when I try to diet or exercise, it doesn't go away. I thought it was hormones. No, it wasn't. Like, I've heard from a lot of people who came from Russia, actually, that there's something in the food here, in the products, that makes you gain weight and then you can't lose it.
As you get older, it will become more difficult to lose weight. And you're still not of that age that it's a problem, but be ready for that because that will always be something that will happen. Generally, the age that I say is like 28 is where you start having a really great metabolism and it starts slowly decreasing.
But I'm 22.
I know. I'm just saying, I'm preparing you for
Okay,
the future.
got you.
The second thing is, in America, what's different than anywhere else in the world is portion sizes. We have giant portions. Like if you look at a regular sized meal in any fast food restaurant in the US and you compare it to France, Italy, even Russia, it's double the size.
Yeah.
So that will contribute to eating more calories. Second, what we do in America and why we consider the American standard diet the worst diet in the world is because the amount of processed foods in our diet. The thing about processed foods, like why is a processed food so bad? When we've done studies and we had them eat a processed diet and then not a processed diet and flip the two groups, we've seen that the people who eat the processed diet want to eat more. So even without the food being itself unhealthier, it changes your eating habits. So living in America, not only are you eating bigger portions, but your habits change. You want to eat more and more often. The food is more addicting. And because of that, without even realizing it, you're consuming more calories on a daily basis here in America than you are anywhere else in the world.
Is there a specific time you could expect to like start losing weight drastically after you cut the calories?
Yes, so each person has their own basal metabolic rate. How many calories they need to stay even with their weight per day. We do a rough estimate that the average person should eat about 2,000 calories a day to stay even. But it's actually different person to person, how much exercise you do, whether you're male or female. There's a lot of factors. Once you get that number, subtract 500 calories each day for a week, that will take away 3,500 calories, and that will burn 1 pound. Each calorie is not equal. So if you drink a juice with a lot of, let's say, apples in it. It is not the same as eating those apples. When you eat the apple, you get sugar. When you drink the juice, you get sugar. When you eat the apple, you also get fiber. Fiber changes the way your body absorbs the sugar. So it's always healthier to get the natural whole food rather than the processed food. And juice, which most people will never say, it's processed. Would you ever eat 6 oranges?
No.
That's too many oranges.
Yeah.
But would you ever have a glass of orange juice?
Yeah.
It takes 6 oranges to make a glass of orange.
Oh my God.
So you see how easy it is to overeat sugar when it's like if you just ate 2 oranges, you would have been full. But instead, now you're having 6 in a glass with a ton of sugar with no fiber. That's the problem.
These were all my questions.
Awesome. Okay, so I hope we learned something. And if you have follow-up questions, I'm always available.
Okay. Okay, cool. And you explain everything in such a simple way that it's so fun to be around you.
Awesome.
That's so
Thank
cool.
you. I've done a lot of these Ask Dr. Mics, but the best ones come on the street. So click here for my curbside consult segment. And if you have any questions for us, drop them down below in the comments. We're going to answer them.